Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips on Instagram with a Z. Pothead Picker on X. And then there's the Flips and Giggles Facebook page on Facebook. The Facebook page on Facebook. Sorry, I'm trying to produce and do fucking 3 different things here. I just fucked up the intro, so I had to redo it again. And I didn't want to have to stop everything, so I just tried something out. Anyway, welcome back. Hope everybody's week's good. As you can see behind me, I have a pile of clothes. Mostly from the mid 80s to the early 2000s. I'll talk about that in a little bit, how I acquired that. I just wanted to address the elephant in the room because it looks like my death pile's creeping out here, but it's not. It's just when I get a ton of clothes in, I try to go through them as quick as possible. And the quickest way to do that is to move them all into the basement and then just fucking take a bunch of pictures, set up a makeshift, picture setup, and then just take a bunch of pictures of them. Although I need to get something that's higher. I might start using the table. Cause I keep going on my back and it fucking is hurting. The table is so kind of janky. It's so old. We've had this table forever, and our kids have fucking absolutely destroyed it. Just leveled this fucking table. But yeah, because I do it on the floor for right now. I vacuum up and I clean the floor up, and then because our flooring looks, it kind of looks like a cool background. So I just use that, and I've never had any issues. But the only issues is it's kind of straining because I'm doing it on the floor, which it's it's whatever. I'm used to getting up and down and doing all that shit. So anyway, I'm a little behind. I was supposed to get the last 2 episodes of the podcast uploaded on YouTube, and I haven't yet. I was supposed to do it this weekend. And so the last time I had done the podcast, the next day or maybe 2 days later. So my daughter I think I talked about this. My daughter had gotten sick on Sunday. And then the day I did the podcast, or maybe it was, it was close to when I did that podcast. So my other daughter ended up getting sick as well. She woke up puking in the middle of the night. And then up Friday, so I had a couple things left to do for homework on Friday. So I was doing that stuff. My wife was on her way home. She had texted me she was leaving for work. And I had been feeling really queasy. And so then I go upstairs and start puking. And of course my kids are what are you doing up there? Because I thought I had locked the gate so they couldn't follow me up there. But I was in my haste to get upstairs and fucking puke everywhere. Because I never know if it's I've got a minute or you know what I mean? I've never usually it takes me a minute of standing in the bathroom. And then I just I puke. So sorry, this is a very puke heavy episode right off the bat. I didn't really intend for it to be that way, but it's just kind of what happened this last week. So yeah, I go upstairs, got sick. My wife finally gets home, and at this point I'm I was feeling absolute shit. So I just basically stayed on the couch, fell asleep on the couch. She got dinner and got the kids ready. They had dinner, went upstairs. So after they went upstairs, I was all right, I'll go upstairs and say goodnight and then just go to bed. So I went to bed at 8 o'clock. Well, not went to bed, but got in bed and watched TV for a little bit. And then the next day felt better. And then because my daughter was 24 hours. So I was oh, sweet. I'm done. I'm good, blah, blah, blah. Got it all out. And so I woke up and I felt felt good. So I was like, oh, I'll go to an estate sale. So I went to an estate sale, got a couple things, nothing crazy. I got some Care Bears that I already sold. So I basically made my money back. And then I got a laptop for school. So that was like an upgrade on the laptop I've been using, like a much better upgrade. So I've got that. And then there's a couple other things I got. So like nothing crazy, but then, so then that day, later in the day, I kind of had like some fucking like the shits and stuff, like, but nothing crazy, but just didn't really have an appetite. And then, so I thought I was like good, you know? And then like, so a couple days later, then my daughter, who threw up before I did, ended up throwing up. So like, oh man, this is like not going away. And so like at this point, it's like been a week. My first daughter, who like, she just puked one day and that was it. And she hasn't like, you know, she hasn't come down with anything again, thankfully. And then, so then I'm sorry, this is this is your first time listening to the show. This is like not usually what I talk about, but this is just like, it was a whole fucking long week of just fucking literal shit. And so then other daughter throws up. I'm like, oh fuck, like what's going on? So then my stomach was kind of fucked up, like, I don't know, the last couple days, like just like, you know, uneasy. So then what day was it? I think it was like Tuesday. I was like, oh, you know, we'd been trying to go out to eat. We hadn't been out to eat in like over a month. Like we don't go out to eat a ton. I mean, we just, you know, it gets expensive and like half the time the service sucks these days. So it's like, whatever, like, but like occasionally I'm like, all right, I don't feel like making food. Like let's go out to eat or whatever. So we've been trying to do something. And so like we went out on Tuesday to a restaurant. So I'm like, oh, you know, I wasn't really thinking using my head. I was just very hungry because I didn't really eat. This is like now Tuesday and the start of Friday, and I haven't really been eating much the whole time. And so I'm like, so I eat and like I grabbed a fucking cupcake on the way out. Like they were selling cupcakes there. And like I had like 2 mozzarella sticks, and these weren't like regular size mozzarella sticks. They were like massive. They were like ballpark frame size mods. Like they were girthy. They were fucking girthy mozzarella sticks. And so I ate like 2 of those, and then I had like a chicken parm panini. And like me and my wife split like that and the like the prime rib dip or whatever the fuck those are called, with the au jus sauce on the side. And like, so it's like, oh, like I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten, like this is gonna be so bomb. And so then I ate and picked up the cupcake on the way out, and like as we're driving home I'm like, oh, this is no good. And I started to feel like super uncomfortable, like it was bad. Like I got like really, really uncomfortable. And so then, shit, hopefully I didn't fuck up the mic. And then so then I go to sleep and I'm like, oh man, like just bloated. Like I just felt bloated and shit. And so I get home, and then the next day I wake up and I'm still like feeling bloated as fuck. And I'm like, God damn, dude, like this was like a terrible idea to like eat that much shit food, like after not eating for a few days or whatever. Like I ate little things at a time. And so it starts to get later in the day and I start to get like crazy gassy. So I'm like burping and farting, but like long farts and like deep nasty burps. And so I'm just like, this is going on from like 3 o'clock to like, I don't know, I get in bed and I'm like trying to go to bed at like just before 10. I was like trying to get ready to go to bed, and I felt like I had to shit, and I was like, man, I get up and I shit like 3 or 4 times. So I don't know what the fuck. And then woke up, and that was like, was that last night or 2 nights ago? I can't remember. Like I think that was last night. Yeah. So today's like the first day I finally felt fine. So I've been taking it easy, but I ate some like Raisin Bran for breakfast. I was like, I'll get some fucking fiber. But man, it's been like, I was like, oh, it'll just be 24 hours like my kid, and like both me and my other daughter for like a fucking week just have been dealing with this shit. It fucking sucks. So that's been fun. So anyway, so I went to that estate sale on Saturday, and then on Sunday I went to an estate sale. Sorry, yawned because I was up shitting all night. So I went to an estate sale Sunday, and he had advertised it Saturday, and I should have gone Saturday, but I was like, for whatever reason, I had to pick between two. One had pictures, one didn't. Went with the one with pictures like an idiot, and should have just gone to the other one. And so I went to this one, and there's like a bunch of stuff outside. So I start walking up, and the guy comes out from like the house next door, and he's like, oh yeah, it's like fill a tote or fill a bag or fill whatever for like $10 or $15. And so I start like making a pile, and I'm like, I'm not really finding too much. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be like all junk. And so like I'm going through, and like he's got totes and shit. So I find like a Hot Wheels car sealed in the package. It was like a coal, it was like a Christmas one. So I might just stash that until Christmas, and then like, sell it on Marketplace or something. But it's so I start going through all the stuff. They've got like a bunch of stuff. Some of it's in kind of shit shape, some of it's in good shape. And I start like looking through stuff, and I find a little bin of clothes. And there's a Rage Against the Machine, like a vintage Rage Against the Machine t-shirt in there, with like the giant tag. And so it was in like really good shape, like barely had any wear. So I grabbed that, and so I'm like making a pile or whatever. And then the guy's like, oh yeah, there's some stuff like in the barn and shit, like you can go look in there. So I go in there, and there wasn't too much more. Like I didn't find a ton of stuff, but I did find a few good things. I got some like really nice, like almost brand new luggage, like the hard shell luggage. My wife needs a new one to replace the one she's got. Hers is a piece of shit. So this one was like practically brand new Brookstone. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that. And so I go to pay the guy, and he's like, oh, $10. I was like, 10. And I had a bunch of stuff, so I was like, oh, I'll give you 20, like whatever. Like, thought that was the least I could do. Could have probably even paid a little bit more, but like for the stuff I had, not really. So then I go, oh, do you have any other like clothes or like any more toys or whatever? Because he had some toys, and I could tell that there was like some Ninja Turtle shit. So he's like, no. He's like, some guy like dug through the toys yesterday. So I was like, fuck, I should have come yesterday. Like there's some Fisher Price stuff. Like, I don't know. They were bigger sized vehicles. I didn't feel like dealing with them. So I was like, I just left them. I should have gone back, and like I went. So bought them. So I pay that $20 for that stuff, start loading that into the car. And in the meantime, I had asked him, like, if he had any other clothes or toys. He said the guy dug through the toys, whatever. And then he goes, but I have all these bags, like there's all these contractor bags filled. He's like, these were all supposed to go to donation. He's like, I was like, oh, well, do you care if I like look through them? Whatever. He's like, well, he's like, I don't really want to open them up and like, they're ready to go. So like if you want to take them, you can take them and then just donate whatever you don't take, or you don't need or whatever. So I was like, all right. So I was like, I'll take them all if you don't want them. I was like, I don't mind. So he's like, yeah. He's like, it's fine. You could take them. He's like, it's from my grandfather and my grandmother's house. Like, it's just like a few generations of stuff. It's like a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, pretty pumped. A majority of it was like useless to me. But of course, I didn't have the trailer on me like an idiot. I probably still would have had to take 2 trips, even with the trailer, because there were so many bags. And so I I load up the trailer, or I load up the car, go back, pick up the bags, like, the dude's whatever. He comes out with a little thing of Ninja Turtles. He's like, oh, I found these up in the thing, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you could take them. So I gave him like another $10 for that. And then, he was just trying to get rid of everything. It was like his grandmother's house or some shit. And he was in from Colorado. So I'm sure there was probably a lot better stuff the day before. I should have gone the day before, but I picked the wrong sale. But whatever, I still got it hooked up. So I get back, start going through the stuff the first day, and I've got like, that was probably why I didn't recover quickly from that being sick. Because like Sunday I went hard with like doing shit. Like I fucking went hard in the paint. So I went through all those bags. There was probably like 20 to 30 bags. There's like contractor bags, and then there was like 6 or 7 trash bags. And so I just started going through them. I ended up finding like, what did I find? I found about $18 in cash. Like first bag was like really good. Found like $18 in cash. Found like some vintage. I just started going through them. Like I was just started going through them very slowly. I was taking forever going through them. I'm like, this has got to be quicker. So I just started dumping shit out and just going through it. And like, there's some brand name shit. There was some like decent shit. There's a lot of like Woolrich. There's some cool like Woolrich sweaters. So like a lot of it was from like, like the mid 80s to like the mid 2000s. It was just a ton of shit. There were some t-shirts. So I pulled a ton of stuff out, and I was hoping there would be more band t-shirts and shit, because there was the Rage Against the Machine one, but that was the only one I found. I was like so excited to go through everything. I'm like, dude, there's gonna be some good shit. So I went through and just like made a huge pile. There was like new old stock with tag. What was it? Harvard sweatshirt. So that it was a Champion too. So it was like from like 1987, I think. So that was pretty cool. Bunch of t-shirts. There was like all different types of t-shirts, and then there was like some random stuff that I looked up. There was like Johnson Woolen Mills or something like that. And I've got like, there's like 5 different, they're all kid sizes, but they're 5 different, they're like flannel jackets, and they are wool. So they're kind of itchy and shit. But I looked them up, and like they were selling all day for like $50 to $85, like pretty consistently. And I got like 5 of them just chilling from that stuff, like a bunch of vintage t-shirts. All the white shirts were pretty stained, unfortunately, but I'm going to give it a go and try to get them cleaned up. I'm hoping. So I've just got like a pile, and there was like a lot of like there's a few American Eagle like cargo pants and shit, and those ones looked really old, like maybe first run of American Eagle. So I looked those up. Those all do pretty well. These are all pretty thrashed. But I don't know. I'm contemplating doing Whatnot to clear out my t-shirts. I think I'm going to do it. But the only problem is I'm going to have to just like take new pictures, which I'll have some time after this week. I've been doing school online, so I'm still actually doing it. I haven't dropped out yet, surprisingly. But I have a paper due, not, I have a paper due Monday. Had a paper due last Friday, and then I have a paper due Monday, and then I have an exam tomorrow. So once I'm done with all that shit, I should have a little bit of time. I think we have a break next week, and so that'll give me a little bit of time to focus on, other shit for a week. Sorry. Fuck was that? Was that? Couldn't tell if I just was hearing stuff from outside or if I was hearing my inside. Anyway. So yeah, then so I had so after I went through everything, I called my buddy who just I know from reselling and shit, and he came over and I'm like, hey man, can you see if there's anything you want? I thought there would be more stuff that he'd be interested in, but he took a handful of stuff and was like, oh, I just gave it to him or whatever. And so then I was like, oh, I'll just put the rest on Facebook. And so I did $50 because I'm like, if you do 100, people are going to be wanting to go through and take a bunch of time. If you do $50, they're like, all right, I'll fucking gamble on 50. You know what I mean? So this chick, I think it was a chick. I'll tell you why I'm confused in a minute. So she comes over and she's, I've met her before at so all right, the reason I'm hesitant to say, so I was talking to somebody else about I was like, oh, this person bought the stuff from me. I'm like, oh, it's this girl who does the goth shit or whatever. And the dude I was talking to was like, oh yeah, they I know them or something like that. So it's like, okay. And then I said something again about something, and he was like, yeah, that they, something again, they. So I'm like, wait, are you saying they, is that their pronoun? 'Cause it was definitely a female, definitely a chick. I'm pretty sure titties were out. Not out, but the shirt she was wearing was not necessarily, I wouldn't wear it for a Facebook Marketplace meetup. You know what I mean? Especially as a female. If I sent my wife to go pick something up, I'd be like, yeah, don't show up like this. But then again, maybe, but I had met her before and and she was talking about girly shit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's what we were talking about. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just in my head. It just was a very, it just threw me off. So I was like, wait, am I saying the wrong thing? Because I'm not trying to be rude. You know what I mean? If I don't want to call you what you want to be called, but as far as all the other indicators were a chick. So anyway, this chick comes over and she's like, oh, if I can't fit it all, can I just pay you half and then whatever. So I'm like, sure. And in my head, I'm like, we're fitting all this fucking stuff. I'm not going to split this shit up and then have to deal with another. So because she came in a Honda Odyssey, a minivan. So I started loading this shit in it's all heavy. These are filled. Oh yeah, and I had found another $5 at that point. The dude who came was looking through, found $5 for me. And so then yeah, so just filled the fucking car, got everything in. There was one bag that had blankets that I was like, oh, you probably don't want this, but they're Afghans. So I don't know. I was contemplating selling them, but they kind of are musty smelling, so I've been leaving them outside. I'm like, I might just go throw them in the friggin'. There's a bin that takes stuff and just kind of destroys it, so I might take it and just throw it in there. But I don't know. So spent the day doing laundry with that shit. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to get that much clothing in. So I'm tempted to just take a bunch of my stuff that's on eBay that's been sitting. I'm going to do a sale. I meant to do it yesterday, and I was trying to do it on my phone, and it wasn't working. So I had to do it on my laptop, and then I got sidetracked and forgot. Happens all the time. But, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, sold that for $50 and got rid of all of the rest of the clothes. So, it took what I wanted. You know, I paid nothing for them. I paid $30 for the other stuff at the sale. So, like, essentially $30 at that sale and got me all that stuff. And, I made back 20, it was like 23 or 24 from the cash just found in the clothes, and then $50, and then I've got a bunch of stuff to sell. So there's like a couple things. There was one thing that was marked 800, so I looked it up because it still had the tag on it, and they still sell for pretty good money, like $400 or $500. It's like a company from Austria. So I have one of those, and I'm pretty. I don't know. I don't know if I should be optimistic about it or not. And that was one of the few things that was in there that was like in good shape. You know what I mean? It wasn't like all nasty or not nasty. Like a lot of the stuff, I just washed it and it was fine. Like I was kind of worried. I was like, fuck, all this shit's in kind of bad shape. But it wasn't really. It was just kind of a little dirty. So I just washed it real quick and it was good to go. Got like cool vintage Supersonics jacket. Like that should sell really quick. So, and I just took a bunch of pictures already. I need to take a bunch more. Actually, have I taken pictures of that yet? I don't even remember. I must have. I don't know. That's going to be my first thing to do. I want to take pictures of that jacket and get it up and listed. I can't remember if I took pictures of it or not. Anyway, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like most of the time, anytime I get to somebody, I'm like, hey, do you have any clothing? Like, oh, I already donated it. Like, you donated it. I've heard people say that about video games too. They're like, oh, I donated it like last week. And then they're having a sale. That's the craziest thing to me was when people are having a yard sale and they're like, I donated this stuff. It's like, why would you go to donate stuff before your sale? Wait until after your sale, and then because you don't know what's going to sell, and sell that stuff, and then take the stuff that's left over and donate it. Instead, you donate it before. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Or when they're like, oh, we're having a sale, an estate sale, and we donated all the clothes. It's like, you don't think there's people that look for clothing? Like, so. And I get in some situations, it's like, oh, the fucking clothes are gross. But this guy, like, luckily I caught him. Like, so he was just happy to get rid of it. He's like, yeah, it saves me one thing I have to do. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't have a truck or anything like that out here to take that stuff and donate it. So I was like, yeah, I'll just fucking take the whole thing, man. Take it all in one shot. So, and then got rid of it. That's the best thing about doing reselling. Reselling's so fun because it's like its own. You're not like I was home, essentially. You know what I mean? Nobody's forcing me to do this, but it's like I figured out how to take something I got for free from a dude, and mind you, I also got I'd used the trailer. So, like, I wouldn't have been able to do that without the trailer. So it was just, like, one of those situations where it was like, man, I didn't miss out because I didn't have the trailer. Like, if it would have taken me 4 or 5 trips had I not had the trailer. And, I probably could have done one trip. I don't know because I didn't do one trip, but I just didn't have the trailer on me when I first got loaded up. But, yeah, to take that and then find some money, sell some to somebody else locally, and then still have stuff to sell. It's like, easy fucking day, easy money. Like, obviously, I don't have the money for the stuff yet, but it's just like it's more stuff to put in the store. It's more stuff to help you with your algorithm, and yeah. Hold on, sorry. I am exhausted today. So yeah, I mean that just anyway, that trailer is fucking paying for itself. Speaking of which, I also today I just came from not just I went earlier, but I went. I've been asking my local thrift store that's like 5 minutes up the road. I've been asking them for like 3 years, like, hey, do you need any volunteers when you guys close up? Because they close up for like March, and then they open back up in April. And so I'm like, hey, do you guys need any help closing up? And so they've told me like no for the last 3 years. And like they know me, you know what I mean? I'm always in there joking. There's this lady she's pretty funny. She's like in her 90s. I think she said she's is 90. And so finally they called me, and she's like, yeah, if you can come Thursday. I was like, yeah, I can bring the trailer, like I can help out, whatever, you can load it up. So she's like, all right, perfect. So she's like, all right, how about Thursday at 10? So I go there to the thrift store, and there's like a bunch of cars there. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was just me and this dude. Like, what are all these cars doing here? So I go in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be helping out. Like, and they're like, oh, yeah, they don't take stuff if it's raining or something like that. It's like, or if it's wet, and it's supposed to be raining off and on, so we're not going to take the stuff from here to there, but I'll take your information or whatever, because the people I talked to weren't there. And so she gets my information, and I was like, well, I could stay and help out or whatever, because it's all old ladies, you know what I mean? And I know like a few of them just from going in. I go in there all the time. And so they're like, oh yeah, if you want to help out, fine, you can help out. And so they were basically just taking all the clothing off the racks and throwing them in trash bags, because they had like done all the sales that they were going to do and all that shit. And I probably did, like, not exaggerating, like 5 bags to every other lady's like 1. You know what I mean? So like as they were doing 1 bag, I was doing like my 5th bag. And so I basically cleared the whole store out in like 30 minutes. And yeah, I think they were like shocked because they all got to go home early and shit. You know what I mean? And like and so yeah, I'm like, and in my head I'm like, whoa. And so the lady who I talked to was like the lady's daughter, the daughter of the lady that I talked to, is who I was like talking to yesterday or today. And so she's like, oh yeah, I'm the youngest one here. So just to give you like an idea, like we need some help, like. And I've been asking for like fucking 3 years. They keep telling me they didn't need help. And so yeah, like just blew through there. And so yeah, and they're supposed to call me to take all the other stuff on another day. But I should get first dibs. I'm like officially a volunteer there. So I should get first dibs on stuff when it comes in. So I got to figure out how that works. Like, oh, can I fucking come through and check shit out? Like, and, but yeah, I was just trying to like, I don't want to step in on any toes, because like I could tell some of the ladies were like, they like to get their stuff. But there's like, I don't know. There's a lot of, they emptied the whole thing, so it's like there's always new stuff in there. But yeah, I've been trying to get in there as like a volunteer for a while. So I was like, yeah, take my number if you guys need anything. I'm like 5 minutes up the road. I could pop out for a little bit at a time. She's like, are you handy with anything? Carpentry? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just a reseller who's looking for an in at a thrift store. I don't know what to tell you, lady. I'm just just trying to volunteer here. So yeah. So this trailer's already, you know, it's already essentially paying for itself between that the donation clothing stuff. Um, I'm very confused. I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. Um, so yeah. Basically, between like the donation clothing and the thrift store thing so far, it's worked out. I mean, I didn't get to use the trailer today, but they saw that I had it and they're like, "Oh, cool. We're gonna be able to load this fucking trailer up with stuff." I'm like, fuck yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah. So I wrote down Facebook Marketplace pickup as something to talk about on here, and I don't remember doing a Facebook Marketplace pickup. Oh, I remember which one it is now. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, dude, they come so few and far between. How can I forget? I guess I got so excited about the other clothing that I forgot about. There was like this guy posted 2 jackets, 2 Disney jackets, like the old bomber jackets. And I know they take a while sometimes, and like they don't go for crazy money like people think. But if you get them cheap enough, and you don't have to go out of your way. Like I basically went 15 minutes away to get them, and they were $22 for the 2 of them, which is such a random number for Facebook Marketplace. $22. Surprised he didn't do like $22.49 or some shit. And so yeah, so I went and picked those up and told him like, if you're selling anything else, let me know. Blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna be moving to Florida, so when I get ready to clean my garage out, I'll keep you in mind. I'm like, fuck yeah. So hopefully I get some more people hitting me up to come take some shit, and hopefully I can get rid of it just as quickly as I have been. So there's a Wu Tang concert coming up. They're doing like a new tour, and it's in like July, I think. Sorry, fucking yawning again. And the last time I went to a Wu Tang concert, I didn't get in, or I got in. So it was in Washington. I think the show was in Seattle, and you could take the ferry from kind of close to where we lived across the way to get to where you needed to be. And so we get on the ferry, and like I hadn't really been drinking too much at that point. And so I grabbed like an IPA on the ship because that's like what I was used to drinking at the time. But because I hadn't really been drinking much, my tolerance was like very low. So I got pretty drunk pretty quick. And we get to the show, and like I'm pretty fucked up. I run into my barber. Like my barber was at the show at the time. So I'm like talking to him. I'm fucked up. And he wasn't even my barber at the time. He was just a barber at the barbershop that I worked at, and then my barber ended up retiring, which was good because I like was getting to the point where I was like over my barber. He just would take so long. He would just fucking like he would sit and talk to you, which was fine. He was cool, but it just took him so fucking long. Like I would see the other dude just like get people haircuts in and out, and I would just be sitting there like, oh my god. And like sitting in those chairs can be uncomfortable for sometimes, and like it just like takes fucking forever. So that was good because I was gonna have to like find another way to get out from under that dude and into another barber, and like just out of pure magic, because he was like, oh, you can ask any of the other guys, to take care of you. And I was like, oh, I want this dude, because I kind of had an interaction with them, and then I like met him drunk that time. And so yeah, so I saw him at the show, like, and then I go in, we get into the show, and it's the opener hadn't even started yet. We had just gotten beers, and I fucking pull a joint out, and I see other people smoking, but I'm drunk. I'm not thinking about it, so I just like fucking fire up a joint, and like within a second, like another a minute or two, I feel like a hand on my arm. They're like, "Yeah, you gotta go." I look up and it's like people that work there. My wife's just like, "Oh my god," 'cause she didn't really care. She's like not too into Wu Tang, but she like knew that I cared, and I was like, "Fucking!" So I was so mad. I got kicked out before they even shut the lights off for the opener, and they take me outside, and I'm like, there's a cop outside and shit. So like, I'm like, I wasn't drunk to the point where like I was causing a ruckus, but like I was drunk enough to be like fucking pissed. And so I was like, all right, how can I show my fucking rage without getting in trouble? Because there was a cop like literally just standing there like watching me. So I took the bikes that were outside the fuck are those stupid ass bikes? Like the green bikes or whatever the fuck they're called. The city bikes. City bikes. Is that what they're called? Maybe. So I took those city bikes and I would like lay them down gently. So I did that for each one that I walked by, and the cops just like fucking, he was dying. He thought it was fucking hysterical. So I'm like, you can't, I'm just like gently placing shit down. So I was just like gently causing so much mayhem. My wife is walking behind me. She's like, I'm so sorry. She's picking them up like as I'm placing them on the ground. I was so fucking mad, dude. I was so fucking mad. So they're doing a concert. It's supposed to be their final one. I mean, people always say that. I was like, this is the final one. I mean, it's probably going to be the final one that's going to be good if they're going to do it again, because they're all getting up there in age. So I'm definitely going to go and check that shit out. I'm excited for that. But yeah, that shit sucked. I was so fucking pumped for that concert, and then just did not even get to go. And then I asked my barber, I was like, was that show good? He's like, yeah, it was good. I was like, fuck. So anyway, and speaking of like Marketplace and Facebook, I don't want to speak too soon, but like whatever they've done to, kind of let free speech work its thing, Facebook has kind of become funny again. You know what I mean? There was like kind of a time where it was just all funny shit on Facebook, and then that kind of just went away. But yeah, now it's kind of back. So I regularly see things that make me laugh, and I send it to like friends and stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is too good not to share with people. So you gotta like, I've got different friends I can send different shit to. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's been slightly funnier than it has been in the last however many years. Because it used to be fucking hilarious. It was just all memes and fucking what bullshit, and you know what I mean? Anyway. So the chick that played Harriet the Spy died. And that was like one of the first movies where I discovered that I had a crush on a girl. Because like, what is she? She just died. She's 39 when she died. So I'm like a few years younger than her. 2 or 3 years younger than her. 3 or 4 years younger. I'll say I'm pretty sure it's 3. And I remember watching that movie. I remember Rosie O'Donnell's in it, but I used to watch that movie over and over again. And I didn't know why. You know what I mean? I just would watch it, and then finally I figured out why. And it was because like I thought that Michelle Trachtenberg, is that her name? I thought that she was cute, and I remember being like, that was like my first crush, like first time realizing what it felt like to like have a crush on somebody. And like, obviously I thought it was cool. Like I thought the spy shit was cool, but like at the end of the day too, I just wanted to watch it. I was like, I just would be like, yeah, let's watch it again. And I just did not know why I wanted to watch it again. I was like, this isn't like a great It's not my favorite movie ever. I mean, it's a good movie. And she was on Pete and Pete, which I was a big Pete and Pete fan, but I was not like, I didn't know her. It sounds weird as an adult talking about this child. But this was when I was a kid, obviously. You know what I mean? This wasn't like just last week. This was when I was a kid. And she was also a kid. I used to have like these weird, not fantasies, but like, I guess they were fantasies. When I was a kid, like one of the things I wanted to do was I was gonna freeze Britney Spears and cryogenically freeze her, and then wake her up when I was the same age as her, so we could get married. Which, like, in hindsight, the age gap, like, it wasn't that far apart. Like, I forget how much older she is than me, but it's like not that far to where like that, where I would need to freeze her. When I was younger, I was like, that was the thing that I actually said out loud. I was like, yeah, I'll cryogenically freeze Britney Spears so I can marry her one day. So, yeah. And then I think the last thing I'm going to talk about before I check out of here was Cobra Kai just ended. And I don't know why I love that show so much, but I just do. And I'm not going to cry. No, I'm just kidding. That's not where this is going. I just thought it was fun. It was like, it's a really fun show. It was exciting. Yeah, and I was like, man, this is a show hole. Remember that commercial a while back that they did? It was like, you're in a show hole, and it was like Malcolm McDowell or something narrating it. Like the lady just got eaten by her Snuggie. It's very weird. But anyway, that's what we always say. We're like, oh, show hole. And so the show hole ended. So we ended Cobra Kai, and I was like, man, how can I ever go on living now that Cobra Kai is done? And then Reacher started, and Reacher's just as dumb and just as fun. And so I was like, well, this will do for now. So that's kind of where I'm at mentally. So I'm watching things like Reacher and Cobra Kai and getting overly excited for them. So, all right, I'm going to end a couple minutes early today just because I'm fucking exhausted from last night, and I got a couple more things to do before I got to get the kid up to go get my other child. I will be back next week, and hopefully I can get this stuff up and running. Make sure there's nothing else I didn't want to talk about. Nope, that was pretty much it. Yard show season starts seeming to lead like it's going to be picking up. It's starting to get warmer. As that happens, I should have more fucking things to talk about. So, anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you, and I will check back next week. Peace.